Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm your host, Mrs. Denise Parker. I am the Director of Internships and Careers for the National College Resources Foundation, and welcome to Elevate Your Game. Woo! It's a happy Thursday today, and I'm super excited for this wonderful show that we're going to have today. Elevate Your Game was designed not just for our students who are young, about to go into college, or in college, about to emerge into their early careers, but it's also for us adults who want to reinvent and to rediscover our new journey as far as our career pathways, our life. We're here to help all those who are in need from college, careers, and beyond. Again, I'm your host, Mrs. Denise Parker, and yes, I am the Director of Internships and Careers. And what does that mean? I am trying to help you guys figure out your pathway. And as you can see, we're going to have a wonderful guest today. Yay, yay, yay. But before we get started, I'm going to make some announcements. So get prepared. Welcome to the show. So I just really wanted just to make sure you guys understand that there's so much involved in who we are and what we do and how we do it. And National College Resources Foundation has tons of resources. And part of our Elevate Your Game series, we have opportunities that are from our partners from all over, all walks of life. And we do honor people of all different diversities and backgrounds. And since April is Autism Awareness Month, we want to highlight what it means to support those who may have more challenges than most people, but they still want to be a part of society in an equal manner. So we want to highlight the autism criteria for most autistic people also have sensory processing disorders or similar characteristics. So they can be neural diverse children and adults, including autistic people and those with SPD and ADHD and ADD. They engage in repetitive activities in an attempt to fulfill their sensory needs. This is known as styming, and it's essential for a psychological well-being. Most stims are comforting and help to relieve anxiety. But here are a list of some sensory items that you may not know about autism and ADHD and ADD. Fidgeting with toys or instruments, popping bubble wrap, working with Rubik's Cubes. These are all ways to help them to cope with the anxiety with their sensors. So when people have autism, they have a tendency to be really fidgety. So if they grab like a toy or something, it can kind of calm them down, or work with bubble wrap, it kind of calms, or working on a Rubik's Cube, just keeping them focused. You may have people in your family who are experiencing this, or have, found ways to cope, but these are just some suggestions with the sensory. We also have our HBCU fun fact for today. VP Kamala Harris she implored a lot of HBCU students who wanted to go into journalism to be a part of the community of becoming a journalist by coming to the White House. She invited 40 HBCU students to actually ask questions and learn how to engage in public policy and government implements. And as they affect the general student body, the institutions and the communities, she wanted the young people to ask these questions. And they attended either in-person sessions or at the White House on a virtual Zoom. So here's some of the picture of the young people. Isn't that gorgeous? They're just happy and smiling. And here are some of the schools that actually have some of the top schools of HBCUs who have really great journalism programs. And as you can see, the list is, this is the most recent list that we found. This was posted on our NCRF LinkedIn channel. So you could just read the schools. If you're repping any of these schools, big up to any of these schools. Most of them come to our HBCU events, our Black College Expos and our Latino College Expos. So thank you guys for our support. And I also want to highlight a career tip. Hiring is, right now, everybody's hiring. But how are they looking at implementing people to hire? There's different ways. resumes, definitely you got to have a resume if you're looking to get a nice, good jumpstart on your career. You want to outline your resume with, all your work experience and everything that you have that really focuses on who you are and what you are capable and your skills are doing. But there are some programs and tips and techniques that you can actually utilize that have an AI, an artificial intelligence kind of capability. There's this program called ChatGPT. It is an AI platform that can personalize resumes and summaries of cover letters and much more. To find out more about it, you can also go to another AI platform that actually helps you build your resume really properly called Till HQ. To use these systems for assistance, you can also use YouTube for tutorials. So most now people are putting their resumes together and they're not getting a lot of feedback or seeing if it's a good resume. So these platforms, these AI platforms, they actually help you select better keywords, get the formatting better, and also get it to a point where it's to the point and concise with the actual job posting, as opposed to having random different work experiences. They can assist you in tailor making your work experience with the job posting, which is key. But you want to be mindful of this. AI platforms and AI utilization is really cool, but don't rely on that 100%. You want to use it as a starting point, but remember, you need to still personalize your resume, personalize your cover letter, and make sure that you tell the truth about your work experience and your skills. We also have some wonderful opportunities. If you click that QR code, there's a virtual college television summit with the Television Academy Foundation. It is April 25th through the 26th of this year. It's basically on the future of television, and it begins here. You scan that QR code to apply. You'll go to the website and see all the information that's going to be about. It's going to be a wonderful session of people who are professionals in the Television Academy. They produce the Emmys. So these are the people who are doing the work, and they are the experts, and they love working with National College Resources Foundation. They send plenty of their experts to talk to our young people about opportunities in the entertainment industry. There's a football combine coming up for our junior college students who are going to be transferring into universities, and also high school students who are going to be graduating soon. It's coming up this week, this coming up weekend on April 28th and 29th. Super excited about this. It's the football combine. We're going to be hosting it at Linwood High School. The address is there. Click the QR code. Our student athletes program is so robust. I can't speak to it's so robust. We actually help our young people get into college on the spot with our combines and our basketball showcases. In addition, we're connecting them to make sure that their NCAA requirements they're eligible and they can meet the requirements. That's very important if you're going into collegiate sports, and to know how to handle yourself with balancing not just your sports career, but also your academics while in school. This is a very, very important program. It's one of our 5 programs at National College Resources Foundation. So go ahead and scan that QR code to find out more, or you can also go to thecollegeexpo.org to find out all existing programs. We are hiring. NCRF is hiring. We are hiring in the San Diego County area of California. We are looking for students who are either graduating out of high school or enrolled in college, 18 and up. You're going to be working with young people 18 and under, so you definitely have to pass a background check. That's very important because we're going to be working in the schools. In San Diego, we are doing our job to stop the school to prison pipeline. That is super important. There's a lot of incarcerated young people who are in school still. They're in these court schools, and if they don't graduate, that's going to be leading them down a wrong path, and we are trying to stop that. So we're in there for social emotional support and tutoring, including helping our young people to just understand how to have a life outside of school and to start preparing for a career. Excellent opportunity to work with us. We do a lot of robust work. There is a career opportunity also working with people who have some disabilities, whether it's some handicaps physically or or some social emotional disabilities, there's a company called On My Own. It has a program for supported and independent living skills workers. That's the name of the job title. You're going to be trained to work with people who are disabled intellectually and help them with their communication skills, budgeting, safety, home maintenance, health, medical appointments, nutrition, physical fitness, and much more. You're going to be working directly with individuals, helping them in their work environments or in their home environments. You'll get trained to work with these individuals. They are accepting high school grads and college grads are welcome to apply. And if you're interested, you must have a passion and compassion of working with people who may have some disabilities. So you must be patient and caring, and multilingual is a plus. So if you speak more than one language, this is an excellent opportunity for you. Here's the QR code so that you can find out more information and apply. Also, if you guys are interested, 16 and up, there's a career opportunity to start your tech career. Enroll in one of the most amazing programs: cybersecurity, digital marketing, IT specialist, help desk, multimedia production, software engineer, and much more. So if you scan that QR code, you can apply. If you qualify for tuition coverage and you meet the needs, then you definitely can enroll in the program for absolutely free. It is a very short-term program. It's not a 2-year. It's not a 5-month. It's like as long as you fulfill your obligations with your education, you can graduate within less than 6 months. High school students, teenagers, if you're interested in learning more about healthcare and you live in the greater Atlanta area, you can also receive coaching and learn healthcare basics, get some real upfront, 4-day experience of learning what it is to be a healthcare practitioner or professional. And so that you can actually think about becoming either a nurse practitioner or a doctor or some type of medical expert. This is a way to actually ask the questions if you're seeking, I want to be a nurse. We meet young people all the time who want to go into nursing, but there's other career pathways. And this wonderful boot camp will have a wonderful 4-day experience to introduce high school students to not just nursing, but other ways of exploring healthcare careers. So scan that QR code if you're living in the greater Atlanta area. For our LinkedIn weekly spotlight internship opportunity, I get tons and tons of LinkedIn internships. So we have a technology internship for Johnson & Johnson, May 22nd through August 11th. Scan that QR code to find more details. It should lead you to either their LinkedIn page or to their actual posting. Is a data engineering and analytics. You're going to get experience in that. So this is all about technology. So read the prompts very carefully. If you are in college, most of internship opportunities do start at your junior year in college. So just be mindful of that. So you can be applying as a sophomore, and then as a rising junior, you can definitely apply for this opportunities, but definitely read the prompts and follow the deadline. If once the deadline's up, that's it. LinkedIn does a lot of great, showcasing a lot of great opportunities, and every week I try to show you one. And our partner spotlight, we are highlighting, we're going to get more and more information. We've been having wonderful staff meetings with T-Mobile, and they're a new partner. They have various roles that start with a high school diploma or a GED for just students or young people or people who just want to start a career in the telecommunications industry. If you love working with people, there's salary plus commission on some of their sales roles, a lot of their sales roles. They have great benefits. After 90 days, you get full medical, dental, and also opportunities to invest back into your retirement right after 90 days. And most companies don't allow that. You get tuition reimbursements up to 9 in very, very high profile schools. And then that's full tuition reimbursements, and then some tuition reimbursement for other universities and colleges. They have many different positions: sales tech, B2B, customer care roles, excellent training. All you have to be is a people person, really. And there's growth in the company. You can email me for more information or scan that QR code to apply for various roles. So again, welcome to the show. Like I said, I'm super excited to be here. Again, this is Elevate Your Game. We have so many things to talk about and share, but before we introduce my special guest, we are having conversations about careers today. And today's conversation is really about who we are and how we got there using this wonderful, beautiful young woman's journey of how she became a broadcast journalist. And before we introduce her, I just want you guys to say it's not easy to go. Just want you guys to know it's not easy to go after that role. This is a really tough industry. Anything that relates to television and entertainment or even journalism, it is a tough industry. And we have a young 20-something-year-old, not even 30, has already climbing the charts, making a name for herself in the greater Maryland area. Let me introduce you. Ready? Thumbs up. Yes. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
And so let's introduce you. What is your name and who are you and where do you represent? I just put it up there.
Of course. My name's Nordea Lewis. I'm a news reporter in Baltimore. I work for WMAR 2 News, ABC. And I'm a news reporter, multimedia journalist. Kind of dabble in a lot of different things, but you could catch me on Channel 2 if you're over on the East Coast near Baltimore.
Excellent. So I met you for the first time when we did our DC and Maryland, Virginia Black College Expo. We call it the DMV Black College Expo. And that was a wonderful experience. And I got to really get to know you and how you started this journey. What was it like first to come to our Black College Expo? And what was the response after you did it? And how did you feel? Like, how did you feel? Why did you want to come back and give back more?
Yeah, I mean, it was so great coming to the Black College Expo and just being surrounded by all these kids who, honestly, I saw myself in them because I'm not too far off. I graduated college in 2020 during the pandemic. So hearing their stories and kind of watching them navigate, I was like, that was me. So it was just really a full circle moment to kind of give back and kind of pave the way and just help kids kind of get where I'm at right now. So it was great.
Excellent. Excellent. And we got to talk a little bit further about who you are and your story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the most important thing is like people see the after. They never see like the process. They see you before and then they see the after, but they never see the steps in between. What is your story? Like, where do you hail from? Like, where are you from?
Yeah.
And like, what school did you go to? And kind of like, how did you land your current job?
Okay. Well, I guess to kind of summarize it, because it's a long story, right? I'm originally from Philadelphia. I spent a year at Bloomsburg University. It's a very small school up by the Poconos.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was at a small school, I realized being at a small school with no city, there's not much news to report. I have to transfer. So I went back to my hometown in Philly, decided to go to Temple University. They have an amazing broadcast program. Gladly, I was able to be accepted into the school and accepted into the program. After that, I was like, school's great. I love learning, but I want hands-on experience. And I was a sophomore at the time. I've always been very go, 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 go. So as a sophomore, I was like, I really want to be in the field. I want to know if this is truly my passion, if I'm really going to be able to do this for the rest of my life, essentially.
Right.
So I applied to every news station in the Philadelphia area, and I was able to get 6 ABC WPVI in Philadelphia. It's an amazing, amazing news station. Actually, my sister station now, because I work at ABC in Baltimore. So I worked there. I got to learn from amazing professionals, get hands-on experience. That was great. From that internship, I was actually able to do some job shadowing at Good Morning America. I was able to kind of network my way there. The internship was amazing, but I asked them, I want to do more. I want to see what things are like on a larger scale. So like, do you want to go to Good Morning America? I was like, of course. So I went to GMA, and it's funny because I was able to watch the show and it was great. But me, as I said, I'm go, go, go. Robin Roberts was getting dressed in her makeup room, and I was like, gosh, okay, it's now or never. So I was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom, everyone. So I acted like I was going to the bathroom, kind of stopped by Robin's dressing room, and I was like, hi, Robin. You don't know me, but I'm an intern in Philly. I just want 5 minutes. I just want to know, like, how did you get to where you are? What can I do? What can I do really to be like you, successful? And she was so nice. She was so just humble, and she just offered me so much support and love. And it was just such a great conversation that really allowed me to see I could do it. Like I could really do that one day. So after my day with GMA, I went back to Philly, interned my butt off, got ready for my junior year of college, and enrolled in all my courses. But again, I decided to do another internship, and that is where I did PHL 17. Actually, it was between doing the Tamron Hall show because I went to New York and I got an internship at the Tamron Hall show, or it was PHL 17. And one of my mentors kind of allowed me to say, you know, you want to be a news reporter, so you want to stick with news. Tamron Hall show was great. But at the time, I wasn't leaning more towards talk. I was leaning more to be an investigative reporter. So I stuck with that route with doing the morning news, getting up at 1 a.m. as an intern. So all of that, yes, getting up at 1 a.m. and then having class at 10 a.m. And then I was also working on top of that at the Salvation Army. So I did all that. But all that to say, you know, I did my internships, I networked, and 6 months before I was about to graduate from college, I went to all of the career fairs. I emailed news directors all over because it was a pandemic. I was scared I wasn't going to get a job. There was hiring freezes. But I just stayed my course, networked, and I heard back from a few places. Decided to go with WDBM 25 in Hagerstown, Maryland, an extremely, extremely small town. But I took it. There, I was making pennies. I was making pennies to the point where I had to get a second job to even stay afloat and pay my rent. And that's really how it is when you're starting out as a news reporter. You normally start at a very small station that's not going to pay you too well. You're going to be your own camera person. You're going to be your own editor. You're going to be your own writer, your own reporter, your own anchor producer if you're going to anchor on the weekends. But that is really how you get your foot in the door. That's how you get those opportunities. And there were times I wanted to quit. There was times I was embarrassed because I was this girl on TV and people would come into a store and see me and they're like, aren't you on Channel 25? Why are you working here?
Right.
But, you know, I had to just really humble myself and just say, you know, everyone starts small. The greatest people start small. You know, look at Oprah, look at the Gales, look at all of these amazing actors and actors. Sometimes you have to start small to really get to where you want to be. And I'm really grateful for that experience because I spent 2 years at that station and it equipped me with the skills that I needed to have to make that huge jump to Market 26 in Baltimore.
Well, that's amazing. Okay, first of all, that story has so many layers. It has tremendous amount of who, what, when, where, why, how, and highlighting the why. You talk about the internships, and they're not easy to get. I mean, these are coveted roles. You have to probably duke it out with so many different other colleagues in your own department and others across the nation who want to be a part of this world called journalism. And journalism has gotten so many bad raps. What is it about an internship? What is that experience like applying for those internships? Because point blank, you do not just roll into a journalistic role. You have to go through the internship route. So what are some of your suggestions for those who are interested in entertainment and broadcast journalism? Because there's so many different versions of entertainment journalism. There's sports, there's like celebrity and red carpety stuff. I don't want to say it like that, but you understand what I'm saying. But you just have these different elements of it. But then there's the news, which is way different and has gotten total bad reps during the past administration, and how it's carried on into this current, society.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about taking an internship to kind of like really understand it? How important is that, and how hard is it to get an internship?
Well, getting an internship is like getting a job. You know what I mean? And I think if you really want to be successful, especially in the journalism world, you have to intern. And a lot of people think that when you're a reporter, it's just, oh, I'm just going to look pretty on TV and it's going to be glamorous. And it's really not like that. I can't stress it enough. It is not like that at all. There's a lot of work that goes into the background for you to look great for those 2 minutes you have on TV. And internships show you that. I think when you're interning, don't just sit there and do busy work. A lot of times when people get an internship, their internship director will kind of keep them busy by sitting them at a desk and saying, hey, if we need your help, we'll call you. But don't settle for that. Be your own advocate and tell them you want to do something. If there's a department you're interested in, ask them to shadow. If you want to go to GMA or one of the networks, if they have an affiliate, ask them to go. You can't be afraid to really ask for things. And if they're not asking you for things and maybe you're a little shy to ask them, do your own project and then present it to them. Say, hey, this is what I put together. Can I have your feedback? Can I film myself talking so I could put my demo reel together? Because you need a demo reel to land a reporter job. So all of that when you're interning, it's just important that you don't shy away from those opportunities and you don't block your blessings, because internships are very hard to get and you're competing against not just people in your school, but people in the whole entire country. So if you do land one, realize how blessed you are and don't take that opportunity for granted.
That's amazing. Those are great nuggets that you can share with our young population who are definitely striving. Is it an age bracket that you can't no longer consider becoming a journalist? Like, have you saw that, people who I watch on the news, they're more mature, they have a different, they're definitely not your age, most of them.
Right. No.
And how old are you?
26.
Oh my God. Like, you guys hear that? 26. Okay. So, but most people are not that age bracket in the newsworthy world.
No.
And if somebody is young they have so much ambition, and you can get very, like you said, you're top ramen, working 2 jobs, trying to make it. Hey, didn't I see you on TV today? Why are you checking me out?
Yeah.
It's kind of embarrassing. But for the person who is a little bit more mature and wants to consider a career in journalism, what is that like for somebody? Do you know of anybody who's, said, I want to start a job like this? I want to go into this career.
I actually do. My first job in Hagerstown, Maryland, my colleague, Steven, he was in his 60s, just starting out. And before that, he was working in public relations, but he really had a passion for television. So he used his public relations knowledge and his degree, and it just transferred right over to journalism because they're not too far off. And with that, there was some learning curves. He is a little older, so he didn't really understand technology that much. But once you get that opportunity and you're committed, he excelled. He did great. Steven's still in DC right now, rocking it, and he's the oldest reporter there. But he's talented and he knows his stuff. So as long as you're confident, you understand not to be biased, and you're reporting facts, not your feelings, you're going to be just fine.
That's good encouragement, because most people think that you have to start so young and then you age out. But if you have a great talent, you don't want to see your favorites go. You want to watch them because they're safe.
Exactly.
You trust the material that they're delivering. You trust the experience that they from their maturity, and then the facts. You also trust the facts, which journalism is all about the facts as far as reporting them. How is being in this current climate for you as a journalist? What kind of feedback are you getting from other colleagues, so to speak, and just from young people who are looking to go into the field?
Overall, I would say it's been positive. My first job was a little tricky just because it was a smaller town and the diversity wasn't great. So I did encounter some racist elements, not within the workplace, but just within the town itself. If I was out, they would say certain things. And I think that's when Trump was running again. So there's just a lot of tension and a lot of political tension that people had to navigate on their own. So overall it was okay, but I definitely had some times where I was scared because I was my own camera person. So I would go cover these rallies as a young Black reporter, female by myself. And there would be rallies, people would say things to me, people would try to take my camera from me. So there were times where I was very scared, but in those situations, I didn't hesitate to speak up. I was like, hey, look, you guys can't send me here. I'm not going there. No, I will not go to this. I will not do that. And it was a little intimidating being so young and fresh into my job, saying no to my bosses. But at the same time, I value myself and I value my life, and I'm not going to choose an assignment over my well being. So that's something I think if you're going to pursue journalism, oftentimes we're reporting on dangerous situations, we're reporting on fires, homicides, you name it. If you don't feel comfortable, do not stick it out. Talk to your bosses, talk to your producers, and just choose you first.
Yeah, that's interesting. When I watch certain television programs about news reporters, they do have those moments where they're fighting with their producers and their bosses about, the content that they're going to actually be sharing and how they get stuck in that mode. Like, you're only doing these particular stories and you are so much more than that. Who are you? Like, how have you defined your storytelling? What is it about your career that you want to highlight out in the world?
Yeah, I really enjoy community space storytelling. I'm really not, and I think this is something I had to learn because going into journalism, I was like, I'm going to be this hard hitting investigative reporter and I'm going to be at all the crime scenes telling you what happened. And I quickly learned, no, I actually don't want to do that. No, I do not like going to crime scenes. It takes a toll on your mental health. So what I try to do every time I have to cover those hard-hitting stories is I find the community aspect to it. So like last week, unfortunately, a 12-year-old boy was shot and killed in Baltimore. So we found ways to kind of make it more positive. What is the community doing to honor this little boy? What is the community doing to try to spread a message of, a safer street in Baltimore? What are we doing for the youth? How can we prevent this from happening again? So that's kind of the way how I've been navigating my storytelling is trying to put some positivity in an ugly situation.
I love that. Okay, so that makes you really stand out. And this is one of the things we did talk about is because that's what makes you a little bit more cutting edge. It's like you're not being put into a box.
Right.
You have the box and then you kind of say, okay, let me make it more presentables for the world to actually see it and receive it, because you'll get the real hard-hitting truth of the death and the tragedy, but then you also get this stream of like there is hope in this place. Despite the despair, despite the anguish and anxiety of it, there is hope here. And how do you, there's so many times that I watch the news and I just can't watch it. I just can't. And I'm a newsworthy person, but then after a while, you're just like, I can't do it anymore. It will take a toll on you. What are some of the things that you suggest for those who are going into careers where it's going to be toll taking? How is your mental health? How do you respond to that?
Yeah, that is so tough. There's just been plenty of times where I really thought about quitting. But it's very important that you surround yourself with family. It was a lot of times where my mom, is on the phone with me trying to talk me down, and she's like, "No, this is what you're working for. This is what you went to college for. Don't throw it away." I'm a very spiritual person, so I pray, and honestly, like I see a therapist. Like I value my mental health so much where I see my therapist, I talk to her, tell her what's going on. And sometimes it's nice just having that unbiased opinion, someone who doesn't really know you, where she could give me her truth and I won't have to think too much about it. And she's a professional, so she helps me see things that other people can't really see. So I think all of that, plus just taking time out for yourself. Like, I go to the gym, I do yoga, kind of just take some time to decompress, turn my phone off, and just kind of understand that I'm leaving work at work for a little bit, and then I'll get back to it tomorrow. As a news reporter, you're always on the go because the news is 24/7. And when I was first working, I was always working. I would answer every call, every text, every email. I never wanted to miss anything. But I caught myself suffering a lot because of it, because I was just so um, overwhelmed by work so much. I didn't take any time out for myself. And that's why a lot of people leave the business, because you get burnt out so much and you're not dealing with just these little problems. You're dealing with these big problems. You know, some mother lost her son, or someone is bankrupt, someone lost their house. So it's like you are trying to always find solutions to these problems, and you're trying to help people, but you have to remember as well to help yourself.
I like that. You sound like you have a community around you, which is important to also highlight, is that you might want to, if you're considering careers where you're always on the go and you're always in the spotlight on some version of it, or working in a capacity where it's extreme stress, like you said, the news is 24/7, have a community of support, have people you could talk to, have ways to kind of checks and balances, and then take those pauses. But when you're also trailblazing for the first time in a career, you are going to be working a lot. You are going to be doing things that you didn't expect. So you can't not do the work, but you also need to have that balance when you find that rhythm. That rhythm is when you first get started, it's just gung ho. Any job is going to be overwhelming, and you're getting used to the culture, getting used to the people, the energy, the deadlines, the timelines, all that stuff. But then there's a part where you actually kind of find that niche as you get to know your counterparts, your colleagues, as you find your people within your organizations that you work with. And then there's a click, and then somebody's helping you do your stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Do you have that support system at your own, station? Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time. It's night and day. From when I was first an MMJ, which is a multimedia journalist, that's what a lot of people will become when you're first starting out. But now I'm really just a reporter. I have a photographer, we have editors, we have web producers. So it's a lot more. It's a lot of help. Yeah. So
what is a multimedia? Just define that real quick.
Multimedia journalist, basically you're going to be your own camera person, your own editor, your own reporter. It's 3 jobs in one. So you get your own gear, you get your own laptop, and you create the story yourself. No one else, just you. So you have to find ideas. You have to set that up. You have to drive yourself to the location. You have to set up your camera. You have to interview the person. You have to drive yourself back to the office. You have to edit, or first you have to write, you have to edit, get your scripts approved. And then you present it on TV, and then you do a web script article. So multimedia journalist, you're doing all those jobs in one, and you have to meet your deadline, obviously. So yeah.
And what's a deadline look like? Within a day, 24 hours?
So if you are a dayside reporter, that means you're working from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. So you normally go live in your 6 p.m. or your 5 p.m. newscast. If you're a nightside reporter, you're working from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. and you're in your 11 p.m. newscast going live. If you're a morning reporter, you normally work from 3 a.m. in the morning till 11 a.m. and then you're live at 5, 6, and sometimes 7.
Wow. Like you said, 24/7. So the news stations don't ever close. They might look like they're closing outside, but they're out there and they're working, putting together content.
Yes, even on holidays. That's one thing too, where my first job, even now actually, I work all the holidays, Christmas. Yeah, so that's something to keep in mind too.
So what is the dream? What is the dream for you?
Honestly, I think my dream is to say this all the time, and I always try to humble myself, stop. But I really want to be like Oprah. I love Oprah. I look up to her so much.
Yeah,
I would really love to do talk show hosting, connecting with people, interviewing various people, and bringing different issues to a larger platform and being the one to tell people's story on a larger platform. I think that's the dream.
That is a great dream. And we need more integral journalists. And Oprah started as a journalist.
Yes, she did.
And she was a news reporter. And she has, you can archive, you can look up archive of her news reporting back in the day.
Yeah.
I believe I don't know if it was in I think it was in Baltimore.
It was in Baltimore, WJZ. Yep.
Hey, there it is. I remember. I think that the most important thing for our young people to kind of get inspiration from is your youth. How focused you are as a young person. Now, the person who is not as focused but still has aspirations,
right?
What can you say to that person who doesn't know, kind of distracted or disoriented about life or just in general, and then maybe not majoring in journalism, but do have a deep, dark, passion for it, and it's just not been expressed or exposed out yet? That's the secret between them and them. What would you share with them?
Well, first I would say it's okay. When you're young, it is so hard to really pinpoint exactly what you want to do. And it's really easy to get lost in the college atmosphere, but understand that the choices you make when you're young is going to impact your adult life. So if you are not grinding in your 20s, you're going to be stressing in your 30s, and you don't want that.
No.
So when you're young and when you're in college, you might want to go to all the parties, you might want to go on vacations, but there's a balance, and sometimes it takes sacrifice to really create the future that you want. So I think the best thing you should do, get a mentor, get someone to try to hold you accountable until you could be adult enough to hold yourself accountable. So get a mentor, surround yourself with people that are also on the grind, who want to succeed. Because that's what I did in college. I surrounded myself with great people. I got mentors, and until I was really able to kind of stand on my own 2 feet and just hold myself accountable and tell myself, okay, now I'm getting up at 1 a.m. I want this. Let's go. So that's what you have to do.
Who are some of your mentors? Can you, or people who you may know or may know of that you look up to?
So for my first internship, I have a few mentors from 6ABC. Maggie Kent, she's amazing. She's an anchor reporter in Philly, and she actually helped me land my job in Baltimore. So I'm forever grateful to her. I consider Jeanette Reyes from Fox 5 DC as one of my mentors. She's always a text away, and she's amazing. I think you guys might know her from TikTok. She's the news lady that does the thing with her voice with her husband.
Yeah,
it's great. And Gail King, I love Gail. She's someone I definitely would love to connect with more. I interviewed her last year, and then we've always just stayed in touch, and she has been amazing. If I text her like, hey, like, can we talk, please? She is so great, so supportive. It's just nothing but love. So that's someone I would love to connect with more.
For you being a mentor to a mentee, do you have young mentees that you have the honor of kind of sharing knowledge with? Are you doing that right now?
I'm open to it. Currently, I don't really have anyone. A few people have reached out just for advice and for me to look at their reel, but nothing really to bridge like a strong relationship. But I always tell people, if you ever need anything, text me, call me. I spoke to this one young lady who goes to Towson University, and she's very interested in journalism. I text her all the time. I'm like, hey, if you ever need anything, please don't hesitate. I'm all about sending the elevator back down so people could get back up, because that's what people did for me. That's what I want to do for others. So I'm definitely open to helping whoever.
Yes, Dr. Price loved you when she met you. When you guys did that, you interviewed her. Did you not?
I did.
You interviewed her. She loved you. She thought you were amazing. That's why you came to her. Got invited to come to our DMV Black College Expo and also sit on my panel in Booming Careers. And it is a booming career, journalism and all the aspects of that world. If you are you talking to your younger self, what difference now that you know, I mean, you've done a lot and you've done a lot of great things well.
Yeah.
And I don't think you have too many like, oh, I should have did that different. Maybe, but you landed still where you know,
Right.
most people probably haven't landed yet.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell your younger self or people like you that ambitious? What will you tell the ambitious younger self that you know now more than you knew back then?
I think I would tell my younger self to try it, because I think I was just so direct, and I was just so tunnel vision, where I'm like, no, hard news, hard news, hard news, investigative reporter, that when I just explained, when I had that decision where between Tamron Hall show and PHL 17, I was like, oh, I don't want to do talk, so I'm not going to really accept the Tamron Hall show. I think in that time I should have tried it, and I should have seen if I liked it or not, instead of just solely focusing on being this hard hitting news reporter. Because now, fast forward a few years, I'm like, oh, hard news isn't really my passion. I actually am interested in talk show hosting. So I think I definitely would have just tried it, just try different things, see if I like it, see what fits, see what doesn't fit, and not being afraid to start over if I don't like it.
Yeah, I think that's a great advice. I talk to young people all the time who really are tunnel vision on a lot of different career pathways, and they can't really see the thread between the end game. They're like, this is it. This is all I'm going to do. This is the end. I'm like, no, it's not. You're going to start going, and then you're going to feel that, and then you're going to have to reassess to see if this is what you want to really do. It doesn't matter the career field. It can be anything from physical fitness to physical therapy to journalism to entertainment to acting to producing to, technology. I know so many people who started off as a major as a pre-med and then end up being a tech genius.
Right. Yeah.
Starting serial entrepreneurial, tech companies. And it just depends on your passions, how they relate to who you are as a person. A lot of times people tell you what you need to be doing as opposed to you understanding more about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell people how can they find that, who am I? Because as you have discovered, people probably have poured into you and say, you're actually good at talking and speaking on platforms that give you that host kind of environment. Oh, okay. Well, let me consider that. Now that I hear it more and more often, what do you tell anybody who doesn't really know who they are? What would you leave with that?
Yeah, that one's very hard. Because if you don't know who you are, no one else can tell you who you are, So I think it's in a case like me, I didn't really know that I wasn't passionate about hard news until I got there. So I think it's a case where you have to try it and you have to see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And then if it doesn't work for you, it's okay. It's okay to start over, and it's okay to just pivot, Like me now, I'm a news reporter, and hard news isn't exactly what I want to do, but I'm finding ways where I could fit into my passion still, like adding more positivity into the negativity and utilizing social media to do my craft. And I'm thinking about podcasting. So I'm definitely still trying these new things where I'm not super comfortable with, I don't have much experience with, but I'm going to do it because it's my passion and it's what makes me happy. And that's just something I had to learn about. Who is Nordea? What does Nordea love to do? I had to go through it, because if you don't go through it, you can't grow through it. And that's what I had to do.
And being on television, how has that affected your family, your community? Hey, there she is. Like, how does that make you feel when you walk, go back to your hometown or be around your friends? Do they make you feel some kind of way? I mean, I'm not trying to put them out like that, but you understand what I'm saying? Like, you're the one who's in the public eye more so than others around you. So do you get stopped on the street a lot, or?
In Baltimore, yes. In Philly, no. Yes, in Baltimore. And it could be a little taken back, like, wait, what? I'm just trying to pump my gas. Like, But it's been pretty good encounters. There are some times where I'm like, "Ooh, I did the night shift and I was getting off at 11 o'clock." And, guys just came up to me like, "Oh, aren't you that girl from TV?" I'm like, "Okay, sir. Yep. Back up a little bit, though. We can have a conversation, but back up." So it's just, I'm more aware of my safety. I'm more aware of my surroundings. And I'm just kind of very careful. I've always been careful about what I post on social media, but now I'm even more careful because it's like the littlest things. Like today, I was wearing a dress and someone tweeted me, "Oh, that dress is just not fitting for you. That dress is just not your style. You don't look good in that dress." So it's a lot of filtering out the negativity that you have to process, and you have to be strong minded because you're on TV. Everyone's going to have an opinion about you. Um,
Right.
at the end of the day, only your opinion matters, and only your loved one's opinion matters. So filter out the negativity.
Man, you are so good. You know how to type. Man, she's talented, people. She actually highlighted what I was going to share with next, her IG, which is, it's so cute. It's her and her other half, her boyfriend, just
Yeah.
having so much fun and actually just living life on the day to day. It's really, it's colorful. I think you you kind of highlight your do's, your don'ts, your pros, your cons of just
Yeah.
living life, and it has some comedy aspects of it. And a lot of
Mhm.
people don't see this here, the funny side of journalism, but
Yeah.
there is a lot of funny side of news reporting journalism, like for those people who do hard news. And your IG is so cute, and I really enjoy it. That's another way I got to really get to know you after talking with you. I kind of did a social media, look up, and then I saw your
Mhm.
IG, and I said, "This is funny." It's just fun. It made me laugh. It made me feel like, I'm a very serious person, very focused.
Uh-huh.
I do color all outside the lines to kind of figure out like
Yeah.
all the different aspects of who I am.
Mhm.
And being funny is part of who you are. It's just,
Yes.
and then it actually helps you to tell the stories like the way you want to tell them. You want to tell them where it's highlighting the truth, but it also shows the compassion and the
Mhm.
hope and the character of love and happiness within all that, just
Yes.
all that stuff, all that life stuff. That is just life
Absolutely.
stuff.
It's life. Yeah.
It is life stuff. It's not just death, it's also life. So
Absolutely.
um what would you leave with our audience as we close out? Like, what are some of the things that you want to leave with our audience?
Um, I would leave with the audience that you're never too young or you're never too old to have a passion for what you want. Don't be afraid to go for it. Even if things are challenging, just know that there's always a way. There's room for everyone. Don't feel like you can't be a part of journalism because there's already so many faces. There's already a you. There's room for everyone. You could have a seat at the table. You just have to knock on the door a little harder sometimes, or find a window, or pick the lock. Let yourself in. You'll get in. And never be discouraged if you're reaching out to someone and they don't respond. Sometimes people just miss the train, but someone else will get on and someone else will drive you to your next destination. That was something with me where I would ask people for help and they would be like, yeah, yeah. And they would just put me off, put me off. But you can't take those things personal. Everyone has a life, everyone is busy, and no one really owes you anything in life either. And that's something I had to learn too, especially in this industry. No one owes you anything. So you just have to really be your own advocate and not be afraid to knock down these walls, and just understand that only you can get yourself there. People could help you along the way, but only you could push yourself and only you could really get yourself there. You could do it.
I love it. And one of the things I love the most is that you're highlighting that it is that process. It's not
Mm-hmm.
the before and then the after. It
Yeah.
is the journey
Mm-hmm.
between who you are, all that stuff. There's room for everybody here.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important to hear, and it's encouraging. And this is why I had you on the show for Elevate Your Game. This is what it's all about. We want people to actually feel like their life matters,
Yeah.
but it matters in a way that it's more than a hashtag life matter type of thing. It
Mm-hmm.
matters because we want to hear the stories behind the people
Yeah.
that actually focus on where you can elevate, where you can actually, I get pull my inspiration from today I was listening to a master class with Madeline Albright and Condoleezza Rice. And out of the whimsical of both of them were secretaries of state. One's a Republican, one's a Democrat. But the commonality is that Madeline Albright's father was Condoleezza Rice's professor in, I think, a university in Denver. And that was her favorite class, and she was the prize pupil. And that's what made the connection. And because of his storytelling, and she became fluent in Russian and Russian intelligence. And I'm telling you, it blew my socks away how smart Condoleezza Rice was and is to this day, and how Madeline Albright, knowing her father and the respect that she had for, she asked, because of her education, she asked Condoleezza Rice to join her, even though she was a different demographic of politics. She asked her to join in some policy decision making for the White House. And that's what started her career and made her a consideration eventually for Secretary of State. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, one from Alabama, the other one from another part of and two totally different people, two totally different walks of life.
Oh my goodness.
They found that synergy together. They found that common. So you can't put yourself in a box.
No. Don't put yourself in a box. Don't. You won't see the light if you're in the box.
You don't see the light if you're in the box. And if you have a box, figure out a way to make it a better looking box so you can get out of there.
Yes, exactly. I always say the grass is only greener where you water it. Sometimes you're under the soil and you're like, oh, it's so dark, it's so cold. But when you add a little water, you add a little tender love, some care, you start to grow and you start to come above and you start to get the sunlight. And you're like, okay, I did it. It wasn't too bad.
And you took the opportunity. The key thing you guys are listening to, she took the opportunity. She's from Philly, but she took an opportunity in a small town to start, even though she had other prospects of opportunities. She took another opportunity in a small town, and it was grimy for her. It was like climbing, but it taught you everything you needed to know to become who you are and more for today and tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Definitely. It taught me so much professionally and even personally. It taught me to work through these challenges and to understand budgeting. You really had to budget and to understand making time for your family, because I was working so much and I was like, oh, I'm kind of neglecting my family. I'm kind of neglecting my significant other. So it really teaches you professionally and personally just about adulting and just navigating your professional world, this adult life.
I love it. Well, I just want to say thank you again for joining us for tonight's Elevate Your Game in Careers in Broadcast Journalism. And you're an inspiration. And I consider you a value to my mentors out there and mentees to be who want to go into journalism. And for those who are interested in learning more about just all the things that we have, you can definitely follow us here. There's our ticker, www.ncrf Foundation. And you can also follow us on any of our IGs, LinkedIn, Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel on Elevate Your Game. It is about elevating you from college, careers, and beyond. And it doesn't matter the age, as long as you're living, breathing, and have aspirations, there's a place and a platform for you. Again, my name is Mrs. Denise Parker. Thank you for joining us for tonight's Elevate Your Game, Careers in Broadcast Journalism. Good night.